Good afternoon, everybody. This is Saturday, April the 12th, 2014. We need to think about what's going on because taxes are due this week, and I realize that a lot of the money is not really going to pay the debt. It's going to support the coffers of the global banks and corporate interests more so than to pay down the debt or what our taxes are getting used for. They're not being used to pay down the deficit. They're being used to pay off the banks, like I said, and the coffers. I want to say that twice. There's nothing wrong with me. I just want to make sure you heard me right. And the thing is, we need to make sure as people and true patriots that are American, well, it's not a bad word. It doesn't mean we're going to go fight. It doesn't mean we're racist. It doesn't mean we want to cause trouble with other races in America. No. We're patriots. All Americans, by definition, are really, truly patriots, according to the Constitution, and according to the preamble, and according to the Declaration. And that's what we really, truly are if you truly know your history. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a patriot for the cause of doing good and keeping peace and liberty and freedom alive in America. That's what it's about. And resisting against tyrants and dictators and oppressors. That's what really true patriots is about, and that's what's behind this channel. We are part of that all and that together. Collectively, as an American people, whatever color we are, race we are, where we came from, has nothing to do with it. If we're Muslim, if we're not Muslim, we're all in this together. So even if the economy does escalate and collapse, we are still need to get through this together. Fighting against each other is not the reason what we're supposed to be doing because we're hungry. Fighting against each other and causing riots and burning buildings down is not civilized behavior. But the way to really do it is to really hit them where it hurts, and that's at the polls, and hit them where it hurts when you go and buy stuff at the grocery store. Don't buy stuff that supports all these other causes of the New World Order initiative. Buy from people like me, an independent retailer, a Christian. Buy from people that you can trust, the people you want to help in the community that need business, like myself, to Silva's Media. Many of us, others that are out there are like me, that need business from people like you, where we sell quality products that are tested, trusted, and true, and proven to work in your home and or services. So that's what you want to do if you're a true patriot. Support your other patriots in America. You know where they are in your local towns and cities and venues. Just support them instead of buying from the big corporate clone guys. Because the big corporate clones, they don't care about you. You're just a number on their swastika, on their computer screen. They don't really care about you. All they want is your money or some way how to make you sick so they can keep getting more money from you through medication and things. And that's really what the real plan, nasty plan, really is. So you want to try to get on herbal, natural solutions. They have all kinds of things, but you got to get off all this RX, medicine first. And then you get on these natural herbs, and a lot of times they won't cover things up. They'll actually heal you in most cases, but I didn't say in all. But a lot of people have been known to have totally all their symptoms just reversed or gone. Even cancer, even. A lot of these things we get can be cured by natural cures that are already known in the world that have been secret for many years. But the government, they know about it, and so do true herbal doctors. Or like the medicine man is what they were called. The Indians had a medicine man. They knew what they were. And so even doctors that study earlier medicine, they know what they are. But see, they try to suppress all that. And they try to compartmentalize our doctors in a way so when they go to medical school, of course they do that with everything. It's not just the doctors. They do that with the police. They do that with everybody. And everybody's got a separate part. When you get a policeman, really by instinct is a detective anyway, because that's what they learn in criminology class. Everybody's like that. The same thing is true about doctors. They learn about the whole body, not just their specialty or their niche in their profession. Like their brain surgeon, they learn about the whole body. They know everything about all the organs, not just the brainstem and all the separate parts of the brain. They know all the stuff in addition to their specialty. You go to school, you learn everything about the body, more things than you care to know. But you learn about it. And there's still a great deal more that we don't know about this body. And there's a lot we do know, which is far more that we still don't know. That baffles doctors today. And it does, because they don't understand how all of it works, but God is what makes it work. It's really the answer. Set apart from science and thinking, that's what really makes it work. You don't have to think about your heart beating. You don't have to think about your lungs moving back and forth to take air in and expel it through your nose. You don't think about any of that. You don't even have to think about digesting your food. Your body does that automatic. Or I think I said your heartbeat. I mean, you don't have to think about the blood coursing through your veins. You don't have to think about any of that. You know, you don't have to think about the body fighting diseases off and cancers and all kinds of things going on that evade your body every day, toxins and everything else. You know, from the foods and things you eat and the things that are in the air with all the chemtrail spraying they keep spraying down and all this other things that they're going in, the things they're putting in the water and the food and in the vegetables and radiation. They keep radiating them, thinking they'll stay fresher longer. Really, they're putting a low dosage of poison in you every time you eat something from the store instead of growing it in a garden where you don't have that. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways. All these things, your body is remarkable, and it still adapts and changes because God made it that way. It's made to do that because God made the body really advanced. That's one thing that he left into creation. He took a whole day to create was man. You notice that? He spent a whole day to create man. One whole day. That's a lot. That's a big achievement. It's like it took one whole day to create the world and the universe that surrounds our world and the galaxies that surround it that are contained within that universe. But you see, that's how God is. Our body is just as complex as the world and the universe is. Because in our body, we have a plethora of all kinds of universes of smaller molecular level of organisms that work together, what? To keep us alive and be healthy. And you don't have to think about any of those things. But they happen every day and every night while you're sleeping and while you're awake. Without no thinking at all on your part. You think about it, ain't nothing you can do because it's still going to do it, right? So, you don't have to think about it, folks. So anyway, I just want to tell you these things and think about this and really look at it and remember next week our Health Care Decision Day coming up on the 16th at 12 to 4 p.m. Kathy Tucker from Building 4 will be giving a presentation on MSEF. That's Mechanicsville Service Emergency Relief Fund. And she'll be talking more about that in detail, so make sure you be attentive for that. And, of course, we got a lot of other speakers coming in. Independent Living, racking it up, the last speaker, but they're the best for last. We've got a lot of programs and services that may help many of you all here in Harbor Square, as well as many of you all that are not in Harbor Square. So that's why we are inviting people, and you're allowed to come whether you're family or whether you're not family. You can come in here even if you don't live here. It's open to everybody, okay? I got this from Nancy. So we're trying to get people here, trying to pack the place. Because we don't get a lot of residents. Even when we have food, we probably get maybe 20, 15, 20, maybe 30 at the most residents. So we're going to have a lot of room in there. So, you know, you don't have to come to the whole event. And that's why there's times that I read to you about the lawyer and all that when he speaks and all. You can come for the things that you want to hear about. You don't have to come for all of it unless you want to hear all of it. You know, then you can come for everything. And that's fine too. But remember, the food here primarily is for the residents. So make sure you wait for the residents to get their food first. And then the food left over you can have at it. Okay? And that's from Nancy. So come, and everybody's allowed to come. It's on the 16th from 12 to 4. We'll have Gen Care here. Talk about the healthcare Obamacare system. You know, if you don't have insurance, because a lot of people here probably don't, and probably a lot of y'all that aren't in Harbor Square probably don't have insurance. No, hopefully you do, because you don't, you're going to have to start paying fines. So, I mean, you really will. So you need to get some insurance of some kind. Don't go to the government site. Go to a insurance site directly. Just go to their sites and get your insurance there. Don't go through Obama. Don't go through the government site to do it, because there's all kinds of trolling and spying and all kinds of things where they could try to compromise your identity on the computer. So try to do it exactly on the website where the insurance is. Like, say, for example, if you want Blue Boys insurance, you know, I'm just making that up. There's no such thing as one of those. Or Nationwide Health Insurance. Or you want, I don't know, if you want, you know, Humana Insurance. Or there's like several hundreds of insurance companies out there. Just go to their URL, their address, and find out, get it right from there. Don't go through the government site. That's a warning. That's what IT people are saying, and I'm going to pass it on to you. Also, we want to inform you that there is a virus going on because people are trying to be cheap, trying to use it open source, HTML, and they're using, HTML is not bad, but using that open source search engines, the ones that are supported by only 4 people, you need to get off of that open source engine because there's a vulnerability in there dealing with the SSL security. If they're using open source as their search engine, you need to upgrade and pay for a search engine, like install Microsoft on your computer servers, because they have 100 people or more that are dedicated to update the code and test code all the time, and therefore you have the latest secured patches and all, so you'll be more secure and you won't be vulnerable to this. But like sites like Facebook and other sites that are out there have been affected by this because they're all using that open search engine on their server because they don't want to pay for it. And yeah, everyone wants it free. And they think, well, supporting them is a good idea. But see, that's opened them up to a vulnerability because they rely on updates from you, the user, instead of having people in there updating and testing it all the time like at Microsoft. So just use the MS server, switch back over to that, or use Comcast or something like that, something where it's more where people actually work on it all the time. Don't use something that's open source that only gets worked on every now and then. You want to use something that's always being worked on every day of the year and is always being patched and or updated all the time, like Microsoft or something like that. You have to buy it in order to be safe, and that will get rid of the red bleed vulnerability through the SSL. So just to give you a little update on that, they announced that on Friday, yesterday. So, if you have passwords, I recommend that you go on all your sites because most of these are using this Open DNS standard, and they're all been affected by this vulnerability because of it. So you need to switch from that open. If you are using an Open DNS server on your computer, you need to uninstall that and reinstall a Microsoft MS server or something that's more trusted or more worked on. There's a lot of them, that you can use that are worked on, not open source, but use something actually that you can download. If you have Microsoft as your operating system, you can use they have a version that's for Windows users that's absolutely free, but it's secure and it's worked on all the time. And it's updated frequently all throughout the year. When you update your Windows, it's usually updated in with your updates. So make sure you do that. Switch from the open source and go back to that. I know everybody was told to go to that to support open source, but see, a lot of people aren't giving them updates or feedback, so that's why this vulnerability, and maybe many more vulnerabilities that we don't know about that are in the open source. And so we recommend that you change your passwords, like I said already, and then when you switch back to it, change them again. Because if they got your old passwords in all these programs because they're using open source DNS, because it's not always updated or well maintained, as, like I said, the big guys, the Microsoft and all of them, and Apple, they kind of have teams dedicated for that. So you want to use their DNS allocation search engine server instead of using Open DNS. So that way you'll be more secure, because you really will be, because they have people that are dedicated all year round that work on code, and that's all they do is analyze it and make sure if they find any vulnerabilities, they address it right away and patch it all the time. And I know Microsoft is really good about that. So make sure you switch from open source and get that off your computer right away. Change your passwords, reinstall the stuff, and then change your passwords again for all your search engines. That way you won't be compromised by hackers or crooks or thieves, because they know about this open SSL vulnerability. And there may be other ones. So get that open source stuff off your computers. Stop being lazy. Go buy some DNS. Pay for it, because you'll be a lot more secure because you did. This is Michael DeSilvis, and I will see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing a sermon here at New Hunter Church of Christ at 11 o'clock. Hope to see you here. And if you're not here, you're square, you're a pig. So I hope you are here so you can fit in. Remember, like I said, we're doing a donated chair. Bring a chair and leave it here. Brown folding chair or a beige folding chair. They kind of look like, I'll show you what one looks like. See that one right there by the door? See that brown chair right there? That's what you want to bring to the service.